Okay, I'm going to do my first ever low or no alcohol brew. Trying to get below 0.5 ABV. I'm doing this for my son-in-law, who's not who's going dry for a little while. Anyway, the grains came. I've got chocolate malt. I've got the roasted barley, carafa 2, Munich 2, Garum Munich, sigillated, flaked oats, and the base malt is the golden promise. So I've got all the different malts. I've got the yeast and the hops as well. I'm going to be using a Safe Ale US 05 and the Yakima Chief hops. It's going to be the Hollow Tower Magnum. I have no idea how to pronounce that first one. It's 10.3% alpha acids on that and pellets. So anyway, the idea is that I've got water in my 16 quart pot out in the RV refrigerator, and that's cooled down to approximately 35 degrees. I'm going to do a non-enzymatic cold mash overnight. Going to go about 12 hours, maybe a little less than that. But I'm going to do a long cold mash, try and get less fermentable sugars out that way, but the flavor and the color should come out. Got this recipe for this non-alcoholic stout from the Apartment Brewers webpage, and actually the YouTube channels where I first saw it. Went to his webpage and found the actual recipe. And then I'm scaling it down. He was doing 5 gallons. I'm doing 1.5 gallons. I'm just kind of trying this out for my son-in-law who likes the NA beer. So I would like to. I like stouts. I'm hoping this turns out well. It'd be a nice little break for me heading into dry January. Have a nice stout on tap. Anyway, so the idea is I'm going to weigh out. I've got my scale. I've got a pot here. I'm going to weigh out the grains. As you imagine, it's going to be a fairly light grain bill with simply being a 1.5 gallon batch. Weigh it out. I'm going to get them in a bag. I'm going to mash it in a bag and then brew and then mash it in the bag. And we'll go from there. From there, there's just a 30-minute boil after the 12-hour cold mash. And at the beginning of the 30-minute boil, we'll put the hops in, and that'll be in there for the whole 30 minutes. Very light load of hops because this is going to be a light beer. It's real easy to overshoot the bitterness from what I'm hearing. So I'm going to pull back on that light hops. And then we'll let it cool, put the yeast in, and we will be going, I think, about 65, 66 degrees on the yeast, if I've got that right. Let's see, temperature range 64.4 to 78.8, so I'll probably do about 66 degrees. Yeah, 65, 66 degrees on the yeast. 3 to 7 days. Again, the idea is that we don't want to drop too much final gravity because we don't want high ABV. So I'm actually going to be checking it quite often. When we're getting close to what would come out to 0.5% ABV, I'm going to stop the ferment, throw it in the refrigerator, cold crash it right away. At close to 32 degrees, as close as I can get to 32 degrees, to try and put that yeast to sleep. And then we'll, once we do that, we will start to add some CO2. I'll put it in a keg. Actually, my keg's being used right now, but I'll put it in a keg and add some CO2. And forget what the volumes is, but at 35 degrees, roughly 8 to 10 psi for about 7 to 10 days, I guess, to get my volumes of CO2 that I'm looking for in a stout, a little light, fizzy, not a heavy one. Anyway, what else? Oh yes, this is. I'm gonna split it between 2 of these. I actually usually do my kombucha in this, but I've drilled a hole and put in a air valve there, and so we're going to airlock. And so I'll do about 3/4. These are gallon, and I'm doing a 1.5 gallon batch, so I'll put about 3/4 in each to get me to a 1.5 gallons, and those will be in set at 66 to 68 degrees, 65, 60, whatever I said, in my brew chamber with the heat mat, and we'll see what happens. So wish me luck. Next time you see me, I will probably be cold mashing. All right. See you in a second for you, and a few minutes for me as I weigh out the malt. Okay, as you can see, I'm not at the RV cold mashing, but I did weigh out all the grains. I have them all in this pot, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in the bag. And this is the bag that I will then put in the water for the cold mash. Got it all. As ungraceful as that was. And okie dokie. We'll tie this up because it's going to be sitting in that bag, in that bowl of water, pot of water, overnight. A little more than 12 hours. All right, so next step is to going out to the RV, put this in that water, 35 degrees, and let her soak. Well, here is future me. We'll be back to the video in a second, but apparently I either didn't film a section that I thought I filmed, or I destroyed a section that I thought I filmed and deleted it, or something. But you're not going to get to see the cold mash. Not that you really need to see me take a bag of oats and other grains and put it in cold water and then put a lid on it, but that's basically what I did. I put it in the 32-degree water, put a lid on it, put it in the refrigerator out in my RV where it stayed nice and cold, and then I began when that was over 12 hours later, I began to boil the water, and we're going to come in with me just having added the hops into the boiled water, and you're not even going to watch that go the full boil, which why would you? And I'm going to put it in an ice bath to cool it down and then add the yeast. So back to the video. Okay, we have the hops added in, and we're past the hot break. We've got 28 minutes and 53 seconds left on our 30-minute boil. And get the ice ready for the ice bath. Alrighty, we're off the stove and we're in the ice bath and we're cooling down. Once this reaches 65 or lower, we'll transfer it to the fermenters and then into the brew chamber. Okay, we're in the fermenters. I got one already in the chamber, and I thought I'd just give you a video of this one. Got the yeast in there. She's ready to go. And I'll put it in the chamber and then I'll take a short video of that. Okay, here's my brew chamber. Some of the beers I've brewed and the temperatures and the yeast that I've been using. We're at 63 in the chamber now. It's set for 65. Let me show you what it looks like in there. There's the heat mat all the way in the back. And then I got the two fermenters. All right, let this heat up to 65, and give it a couple days. Check out the specific gravity and arrest it when we are at the value that'll give us our ABV. Our original gravity is 1.017. All right. Talk to you soon. As you may or may not know, looking at some of my videos, I made my son-in-law an NA beer for Christmas. He went low, no alcohol a couple years ago, and I thought, you know, let me try making an NA beer and give that to him. So I made a stout. Everything's been sanitized here. I'm about to move the stout into this gallon oxy bar. I made a 1.5 gallon batch. I've got half a gallon in my UK carbonating now, and these have been in the refrigerator stalling the process of fermentation so that it doesn't get any more alcohol in here. Couldn't get a 0.5, ended up with a 0.8. Actually, I'm going to recheck that in just a bit. But this is going to go into the oxy bar, and we're going to go ahead and let this carbonate under pressure, forced carbonation, and we'll go from there. So anyway, first thing I'm going to do is figure out if I'm still at 0.08. So get my stuff out for that, and let me move some of this out of the way. This is for a different project. Let's start with this. With my refractometer, as I kind of like to see the difference between what I get out of the refractometer and what I get out of the hydrometer. So, as I'm sure you are aware, this just takes a couple of drops, a few drops, or a couple. Put that up. Bubbles out. There we go. And we are at, I'm going to say 1.015. 1.015. If I'm remembering right, my original gravity was 1.7. So we're going to see where that ends me up. Alrighty, I'll be back in a minute. I would hope. Let that foam die down. Okay, with my hydrometer I got 10.12. 10.12. Okay, that makes more sense. That puts me at 0.66, ABV of 0.66. Shooting for 0.5. The guy who made this original recipe got 0.8. So I did a little better than that, but that makes sense. So there's about a 3-point difference between the refractometer and the hydrometer. So, all right, that is done and out of the way. We're now going to transfer this into the oxy bar, put some pressure on her, and carbonate it up, and we'll be ready to go. All right, you don't need to see all that. Just know that's the process. We'll pressurize it. We're going to put it in the fridge, and it should be ready in about a week, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks for watching. Okay, this is the official tapping day for the Not A Stout stout, the NA stout that I had brewed. Really can't call it NA because it doesn't meet the legal qualification of less than 0.5 ABV. I came out with somewhere between 0.66 and 0.79 is what my numbers were roughly. And so just a little bit. So I'm going to call it an ultra low ABV. And it is a stout. It's supposed to be reminiscent a little bit of an Irish stout, maybe a Guinness. And so I'm going to check the pour. So here's the pour. Oh boy, it's looking good. Okay. You can see it poured in nicely. It's got a stout carbonation, which is not heavily carbonated, but it's not undercarbonated. It's got a nice little head there. decent lacing. This is really nice for an NA beer. I'm not used to having a decent head on an NA beer. Again, ultra low ABV beer. I can smell the chocolate a little bit. Little hint of coffee. Definitely some roasted malt smell. I can't get over this head. Nice creamy. The mouth feels a little thin, but you would expect that with a very, very low, ultra low ABV. I mean, not even at 1%. So it's not watery, I wouldn't say, but it's thin. It's definitely thin. Hold your tongue in the liquid, and you can feel the carbonation on your tongue. So it's got some carbonation. It's not heavily carbonated, but I was only shooting for, let me see if I can remember what I was shooting for. Yeah, about 1.64, which is in the stout and porter family. 1.50 to 2.19 is stout and porter. I was shooting for 1.64, and I'm probably right in that ballpark. Beautiful color. Definitely has the Guinness color. Let's focus on the taste. That's nice. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best stout I've ever had, but you got that bitterness at the end. Again, reminiscent of a Guinness. You can taste a little bit of the chocolate in there. It's definitely malt forward. It's not real hoppy. It's definitely drinkable. That's a decent ultra low ABV stout for sure. All right, well, look, I hope you enjoyed the process of making this stout. I definitely would make it again. It'll help me with dry January if I choose to do. It's definitely going to be a beer that I will drink when I'm looking to not have another alcoholic beverage. So thanks again. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and get a chance to watch some of my other videos. I hope you enjoy it. Take care.